Am I shooting?
I hope so.
What the hell? You gotta warn me!
Go!
Okay, hello gang. I know this is like a different setup from my usual setup because I'm not at home. Shout out to my friend Eric for letting me stay over. So, I've had this video on pending for so long. I've been putting off this video for reasons that I shall mention in the disclaimer, but I've been putting off this video for a while, and I guess it's finally time that I did it. It's the why I stopped being Christian storytime video. So if y'all don't follow me on Facebook, I put a disclaimer out there for things that you guys should keep in mind while watching this video. This is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be a doozy, so I might want to ask you guys to grab some coffee, grab a cigarette, and before you sit down. And while you do that, here's the disclaimer. So, I am not making this to disprove the presence of a God, nor am I making this because I have a beef with anybody from church or my old church or any Christian church for whatsoever reason. I am making this because everybody wants to know. And I think I owe people an explanation. For all those Christian peeps that know me from church, if y'all aren't comfortable with seeing me talk about this or badmouth anybody that you may know, please know that I am not making this as a direct attack to anyone. It's just literally me telling a story, and if that makes you uncomfortable, please do click out now. If you want to read the full disclaimer, I will link it down below with everything else with my social media sites, and I shall begin. So, I'm gonna use a story as an intro to this entire thing. My dad, he turned Christian 2 years ago, and it has worked out for him. And am I happy that he's a Christian? Of course I am. It made him a better dad. It made him a better person in general. But for me, personally, I think that Christianity is a hit or miss kind of thing. Not everybody is programmed to work the way people do work once you start being a Christian. And that's, I guess, what went wrong with me. Because in church, everybody kept pushing me to be a better person, to be a better version of myself for God. And at first, I honestly thought that by becoming Christian, I am becoming the best version of myself. But I slowly found myself hating the person I became the longer I stayed in the congregation. I will not mention the congregation at all. I will not mention anybody's names. If I do need to, I will make something up. But when I was in that church, I found myself pushing away people that were there for me before I was even a Christian. I had people that stuck by me and took care of me, and when I had nowhere else to go, they were there. But then I became a Christian, and all they were doing to me is sin. All I see with them is sin, and my discipleship group leaders, I will not mention their names, but they told me to cut them off because they're hindering my growth as a Christian. I ended up cutting off so many people that, for me, were better for me than any of the people that I met in church. They were the kind of people that will not judge you when you do something wrong. And that's another thing. When I got into church, every single time I did something wrong, it made me feel like crap. It made me feel like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Like, maybe I'm such a horrible person. When, in fact, making mistakes is a normal process of everybody's life, and that's how you learn, that's how you mature. And people in church just saw it as mistakes. I tried to compensate by joining ministries, by doing other things, repenting non-stop, and I talk to God every single moment of the day. I've closed off people that I should be talking to and just talk to some figment of my imagination. It turned me into a person that I didn't like. Like, mostly Christians would tell me that, oh, that's because God is shaping you to be a better person, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't feel better. It didn't feel like I was changing for something better. I feel like a warning sign that I wasn't doing better is that all my friends shut me out. And everybody, even my family, found that I was more difficult to be with than I was when I wasn't a Christian. And I visioned that as God shaping me to be a better person. And if they don't understand that, then they can suck it. But in reality, I was just being a difficult asshole, and I needed to stop doing that. I'm not saying in any way that all Christians turn to be difficult assholes by saying that. I know my dad became an easier person to be around with, but for me, it just didn't work. I found myself making decisions that I wish I didn't. I gave up so many things for people that I was trying to impress them, and I was trying to impress this God that I didn't even see. I had to give up some people that made me genuinely happy, that made depression easier, that made my life easier. I had to give so much things up. And for what? For the chance that I may be up there with this holy person? A chance that I won't know until I die? Why would I do that? It may sound selfish, but to me, it just didn't make any sense. It didn't make sense to me how everybody thought that depression was something easily fixable by saying, I believe in Jesus. To them, and I will not, again, mention any names, to them, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, anorexia, schizophrenia, they're all just in your head. They're all just things that can magically go away once you say, I believe in Jesus Christ. They didn't take me or anybody else in church that had problems with mental issues seriously. We were just being difficult. That was us to them. And me and those group of people, we were bullied on a constant basis. We were judged for the things that we were doing because of our mental state. I have a friend who is a very close friend of mine until now that just stopped attending because everybody made him feel alienated and wrong for having a mental disorder, because he has post-traumatic stress disorder because his teachers as a kid hurt him. Shouldn't this congregation be this open, loving, we accept everyone kind of thing that they advertise to you once you walk into those doors? Because that's exactly the kind of love I feel like Jesus is selling to me. But I felt none of that. My friend felt none of that when we walked into those doors. We just felt judged. And, you know, some people would reason out and say, well, you're not going to the church for the people, you're going for the God. That God that set so many conditions for me, just for me to be part of his family, when he advertised to me unconditional love. Some people in my church would often say, maybe you should read the Bible and then you'll go back to being Christian. No, I read the Bible and I stopped being Christian. I found myself just hating the kind of people I was around with. Toxic people that did nothing but circulate drama. Honestly, especially in that congregation, their favorite thing to talk about is drama. Who's secretly hooking up with who's secretly doing this, secretly doing that, and constantly validating themselves that I am so much better of a Christian because I didn't do the sin that this guy did. It was horrific watching that happen, especially, like I said, that they were advertising a unconditional, we don't judge you space. Like what Jesus would have done. And it's funny because they were doing that and they were trying to be in the image of Jesus, which is everybody's goal as a Christian. I sometimes find myself wanting to go back to being a Christian just so I wouldn't have to blame myself for every bad thing that happens. Because surprise, surprise, I make mistakes, and everybody does, and I feel like having faith is just giving you a cushion for the fall that you don't have to blame it all on yourself when you make a mistake. Who says that making mistakes is bad? And I honestly thought that maybe if I was a Christian, this would have been better, or this would have worked out better. stuff like that. But hey, I'd rather make mistakes than be enclosed into something that I do not even fully believe in. Some people thought that me going atheist was sort of drastic. Honestly, even I find it drastic. But am I gonna leave a pointless belief for another pointless belief? I was not. I believe that there is nothing out there rather than yourself, and nothing can offer you salvation but yourself. Mental disorders are diseases, and a lot of religions advertise mental disorders to you as something that is a figment of your imagination. Says the people who believes there is a man in the clouds controlling everything that you do. They're just as much real as any disease else. And I do not want to circulate myself around with people that constantly make me feel like crap. Especially when they tell me they're supposed to be there for you no matter what. I don't know if that answered everybody's question as to why I stopped being Christian, or if that's an enough reason, but that's exactly how I felt. Upon leaving the congregation, I wanted to be a person that promotes love for love, which another thing that they so clearly frowned upon, saying that everybody's welcome here, but if you're gay, they magically want to turn you into straight. I didn't understand that. And upon leaving the congregation, I found myself being easier to be around with again, reconnected with a lot of friends, felt better about myself, felt better about my life. Do I still have bouts of depression? Absolutely yes. I have this disease and it's not going away very soon. Don't you just hate it when your camera cuts you off? Like, yeah. This isn't even my camera, so if y'all have somebody to blame, y'all blame Eric. Okay, so I left off with about something about depression, and I guess I will wrap this video up by saying that I'm not sure if this will answer anybody's questions. I'm not sure if this is an enough explanation. I'm sure this probably sounds very, very selfish to a lot of people. But if it's making myself better, if I feel better, if my depression is going away, if my friends think I'm nicer, if my family likes to be around me, if people at work like to be around me, then I think I'm doing better. And I don't need a book to tell me where my morals are. I don't need a figment of my imagination to tell me that this is going to make everything better. I don't need something that I can't see to tell me that things in my life are going to be better. Because I know they're going to be better. I'm going to make them better. I can't find salvation in anything else rather than myself. I feel like the only person that can save you is you. And if somebody in my audience believes in God and they think that God makes them better, then by all means, go. I'm not gonna tell you to stop believing in a God, but as for me, it's not working. It won't work. I've tried. I really tried to make it work. It just doesn't. So honestly, y'all, if you believe in Jesus or any person for that matter, Mohammed, Allah, Buddha, the flying spaghetti monster for that matter, I don't care. Just as long as you're not a difficult asshole, just as long as you're not being a prick, I don't care. But Christianity turned me into a prick, and that's why I am never gonna go back to it. I hope this answers everybody's questions, because I am actually tired of having so many people tell me that, why don't you explain why you're not a Christian? This is my explanation finally. May it be enough or not enough, or stupid or not stupid, but I already gave you my piece. So I'm just gonna leave you off with the idea that you can believe in anything that you want, but trust me when I say this, the only person that can save you is you. So Another thing is that if you guys really like this video, don't forget to leave a like. If you have any problems with any of the stuff that I may say, I encourage an open conversation in the comment section, just as long as you think about your arguments. You guys know what I feel about arguments in the comment section. Please don't make me have cancer by going to my comment section. I love reading what you guys have to say. So please make sure that you're not killing my brain cells in that process. So if you guys like anything that I said, leave me a comment down below. If you don't like something I said, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit like. And if you really like to see my videos and want to see more of these, please don't forget to subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. You're helping me pay for art school. So, y'all, I'll see you in my next video. And that's it. I'm out. Peace.